I will give words, I will give some symbols, I will give some, I will decide that how I have to communicate with you. Then with the medium, either I am going to use words, either I am going to use the language, either I am going to use my body language, my gestures, my posture, everything I decide. I decide that how I have to use. For example, I always say to explain this that we decide the medium. If I have to give same information to two different people, I decide two different mediums. If I have to exchange information with my mother, I know that if I say this much, my mother will understand and she will agree with me. But if I have to say the same thing to my father, I have to change. I have to change my medium. I have to add more words. I have to add more symbols so that he can understand. We know that how the other person is going to understand our message. According to that, we use our medium. Sometimes we think words are only enough to make our message clear on the other side. Sometimes we know that the words are not enough. We need to add pictures, we need to add diagrams, we need to add references, we need to add something more so that the other person can understand. Sometimes words are enough, sometimes we add body language also. If I'm standing in front of the person saying something to him and making some expressions on my face and using my body language, only then the person will convince that I am really in the need of something. So, first there is a sender, then he encodes the message. Encoding means he decides that how he has to say this thing to the other person, either by using some special symbols, special characters, special words, and then he convey this to the receiver. And whatever message has came to the receiver decode it. Decode means he when getting the message, receiver try to give meaning to that message. And after understanding the message, after decoding the message, receiver gives feedback. Feedback means reply, response, answer. If you say something to someone after getting your message, after getting your information, what other person has replied, what other person wants to say, that is called the feedback. And feedback comes back to the sender, through which sender is clear or sender comes to know that my message is conveyed. Through feedback, it is the only feedback which give confirmation to the sender that the message is conveyed in its 100% form. Is it clear to everyone? Mehak,
Yes,
Navpreet,
sir.
Sahajpreet, any problem?
No, sir.
Is it clear, Mehak?
Yes, sir.
Navpreet Singh, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Another also process, the same, the diagram, any of the diagram you can use. Sender encodes the message, decode the message, receiver, and then it comes the feedback. Sometimes encoding and decoding has noise. Noise means disturbance, that whatever you are saying, the other person is not getting. Maybe there is a disturbance, there is some problem. You encode the message. Suppose you send a smiley to your friend, and whatever you want to give, you want to say through that smiley, the other person, your friend, is not able to decode in the same way. Then in that case, there is miscommunication. Then in that case, there is a noise, disturbance in the communication. Maybe the proper message is not going. Maybe you have not used the proper, words or proper symbols to convey your message. That can be there in the communication process. Then if we talk about communication process, it has the same what we talked about. Sender conceives the message, sender starts the message, sender initiates the message. It is the sender who conceive means he originated, he started. If I want to communicate, the message will start from me. I start the message that how I have to, what I have to say, what information I have to exchange. Then I encode the message. Encoding means I am giving special symbols, I am giving special characters, I am using some special codes so that my friend can understand, my parent can understand, my boss can understand, my client can understand. Then I select the appropriate channel. Channel means I have to speak, either I have to write, either I have to just give my silence, or I have to use my eye contact so that the other person can understand. This all comes in the channel. Then when I send the message, receiver decodes the message. Decoding means giving simple meaning to my special symbols or special characters. Then after decoding, receiver understands the message, interprets the message, and after understanding, receiver gives the feedback. It comes the feedback from the receiver. And feedback is very important. Through feedback, we come to know that what we want to say, the other person has understand. When we are talking to someone, we want that when I finish, the other person should reply. Should reply means I want to get confirmed that whatever I want to say, the other person has listened, other person has understood that what I want to say. And through feedback, when we say something to someone, and after once we finished, the other person give his reply, and through his reply, we come to confirm that our message is conveyed on the other side. What we want to say, what we want to make understand to the other person, it is on the other side now also. So this is communication process. You can describe it through these points, as well as you can describe it through the diagram also. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Now there are methods of communication. We can do communication through internal, or we can do it external. Now let's see what is internal communication. Internal communication means that communication you can do oral as well as written. As we were talking about the channels, as in if I decide that I have to do it orally, I have to use, I have to speak. I can speak on the telephone and I can convey my message. I can convey it in the through the intercom. I can through the meeting or conference. I can give the presentation. I can talk face-to-face discussion, and I can send the message also by the other person that this I want to say to that person. And that is called oral communication. And how I can do written communication? Through memo. Memo is memorandum. Sending a simple notice, sending a small message in the written form, right, to the concerned person, not to the all, but to the concerned person. I can make a report, I can make a chart, I can email, I can use graph, I can send the fax, I can write down the notice, I can make questionnaires, I can make a form in which I can write down that they have to fill and give me the answer. I make a newsletter, and I also can make minutes of the meeting. Minutes of the meeting means that whatever we want to discuss, if I have make a conversation orally, and after that we also in the organization, if there is a meeting, and in the meeting if the 10 points are discussed, after meeting there are minutes. Minutes mean that detailed what points, 10 points we have discussed in the written form, that is called minutes. So internal communication means that we can do through words, through language, and that can be used orally on telephone, on intercom. In meetings, we can convey our message or information to the people, or we can make conferences, we can give presentation also. And in the written form, we can do this in the in that case also. And if we talk about external communication, and in external communication means when we are doing to the outside,